Wasn't that nice, guys? A techno version of the DDR's national anthem and some footage from the long lost German Socialist Republic. Okay, so straight out the bat, Jamie Russell came in with a super sticker. Thank you, Jamie. Hurricane Paro is here. We're not doing a panel tonight, but I'm glad you're here anyway. They were all commies, every last one of them. Hey, me too, Logical Spark. Shout out to you. All right, so we've got a few viewers. Got some popcorn here I've been snacking on. We're going to be digging back into fascinating womanhood so we can learn how to be good, fascinating women. Oh, this looks like a good chapter. It's titled Admiration. Shall I dig into it or should I hang out? And this popcorn is very hard to not pop. I poured a little bowl. I was like, have a little snack. But I see now and worry that I may just be snacking here. Oh, heck. My neighbor's offering me food too. Dang, like real food. Anyway, we'll see. Okay. Sorry, guys. Very unprofessional. But it's yummy popcorn. So, admiration. The center of a woman's happiness in marriage is to be loved by her mate, but the center of a man's is to be admired. Deep in his heart, every man longs for admiration of his abilities, his ideas, and his dreams. This admiration is his greatest happiness, and the lack of it one of his most distressing miseries. Although it is all important to him, it isn't something which he can get for himself. It must be given him by those who respect and love him. He likes receiving it from any and every source, but it is most essential from the woman he loves. Shout out to Keysmo in the chat. A man will often do and say things deliberately in the presence of a woman, hoping to receive admiration, but these things will often go unnoticed. Sometimes a woman is too busy or too mentally occupied with her own world and problems to notice anything to admire. Women don't often bother to find out what is in a man's heart, what he thinks about and dreams about. But the woman who offers the perfect admiration is the woman who wins his heart and soul. I mean, I think this is pretty true. I mean, men do want to be looked up to, I've noticed. And I don't know, if I can't look up to a man, yeah, it is hard to even, I mean, I feel for me it's important. Like, apart from what he needs, I need it, in order to love him. All right. This need is manifest in the young boy and is essential to his confidence and growth into manhood. It helps him to experience love for his parents, but unfortunately, there are many young boys whose parents fail to admire them. A life of correction without praise some young men endure, but the longing is always there. Dang. When such a boy matures, he needs admiration more than ever, for doing without it in his youth has caused a lack of confidence. If the woman he marries can offer the needed admiration, his troubles are over. If not, he often becomes a lonely creature. I was noticing this in a couple I interacted with recently. It was a very, very much a situation of the woman being kind of like a mommy figure. And I could see how desperately this man was longing to be admired. And she just could not do that. She was just constantly correcting him. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens there with them. I don't know. Okay. The young married man. Especially is the need for admiration apparent in the young married man just beginning his career. He expects to be an all-conquering success. No project is too wild, no dream too fantastic. He is full of plans and proposals, assurance and enthusiasm. What he doesn't expect to do after a little preliminary preparation, of course, simply isn't worth doing. He can find 100 flaws in the way older heads are managing things now. But you just wait until he gets his chance and revolutionizes matters. Meantime, life isn't worth living if he can't find someone to whom he can tell all this, how things ought to be, how they will be when he gets his chance. Most of his youthful associates are too much occupied with their own aspirations to listen to his. Older people will only laugh at him. Where can he find an uncritical listener and confidant? The cry of his soul is for admiration. The woman who gives it to him is no less than an angel. The older man. As a man grows older, if he has not been admired, he often learns to do without it. He becomes, it would seem, hardened, incredulous, and less sensitive to the lack of admiration. The older a man becomes, however, the more bitterly he resents this apparent indifference to the bigger and nobler elements of his character. He represses his craving for admiration because he does not believe it is to be had, but the craving for it is just as strong and persistent as it is in the younger man. Oh my. Are you taking notes, ladies? Take notes. Take a sip of my Soleil. I just picked up a different flavor, raspberry lime, guys. It's not as good as the yuzu citrus, but it'll do. Hi, shout out to Chimney Cricket in the chat. I think I might have got a message. Oh, 15 minutes. Oh my. What he wants you to admire. What a man wants you to admire more than anything else are his manly qualities. And I should hope so. If you admire the qualities which are admirable in both men and women, he will be disappointed. For example, if he helps you with the dishes, is kind and thoughtful, is tidy, well groomed, and has good taste, these virtues are worthy of some praise, but this is not the type of admiration that will stir him inside. It is his masculinity that he wants noticed and admired. Okay. Admire. Here's a list, I guess, of qualities we are to admire. His superior strength, his manly courage, his sense of honor and duty in men's affairs. Wow, okay. His leadership ability, his sexual capacities, his determination and power, his devotion to a cause, his mental capacity, his unyielding steadfastness, how clever are his tactics in the world of men, okay, his achievement, success, or excellence, how decisive his judgment and decisions are, how noble are his masculine ideals, standards, and aspirations. Imperfect Citizen says, admiration is cute, but cooperation, now that is crucial for both the young and the old. Well, indeed, but we're not talking about like how to make it work. Right now, we're just talking about, keeping a man's love or how to make a man feel loved. I've noticed this, like many women, they do love men, but they don't know how to, how to express that to them. Like they may in their hearts, they may feel an overwhelming tenderness, fondness, and all of that that they wish to express. But, a man needs it expressed in a way that, he will make him feel like a man. Nice. All right, I'm getting delivered some dinner. Heck yeah. Here I was thinking I was just going to eat popcorn. Jamie Russell says he fixed the car. That is admirable. Matthew says, fascinating. I rode the moose. Oh no, don't do that. All right. These are the things a man longs for they make him feel like a real man. And it is this realization of his masculinity that stirs his soul and arouses his sentiment towards the woman who has made him feel this way. Nice. It may be difficult for you to find such outstanding traits of character in your mate from day to day, but there are many common evidences of manliness which we can observe very frequently. The more common manly characteristics. 1, the hours he spends at work to provide you with the necessities. Amen. 2, his strength in mowing the lawn, moving heavy objects, painting, opening tight jar lids, turning screws, or wielding a hammer. Oh, thank you again, Jamie. Hi, Stacy. Stacy's here with her popcorn. Nice. Jamie has sent me a new super sticker. Thank you. I cannot see it. Let me pull up YouTube on my... It's not fair. I see other people on StreamYard have their stuff come up, but when people leave me a super sticker, it doesn't come up. Or maybe I'm wrong. Oh, it's a mustache. That's very manly. Thank you. A manly mustache. What was the first one? Yes, the unicorn. Thank you. I love it. Yeah, Jamie has a pretty amazing stash, actually. Shout out to Jamie's mustache. Let's see. Okay. What was I gonna put up? Let me see. I'm just prepping something. Sorry, guys. Oh my goodness. Look at me go. No, there's nothing in here, dang. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Okay, well, we'll just have that set up. Okay, sorry, guys. Does the stash have a name? It does. JV says it does. Okay. Wow, all right. Okay, excuse me. All right, so back to the more common manly characteristics. Excuse me. The manner in which he leads you and his children. His beard, his mustache, or whiskers. Women don't have them, they are strictly masculine. I don't know. Some women have mustaches and whiskers, but actually, many do. But, you know, indeed, a man's is far superior. Skill, okay, 5. Skill in repairing a motor. Hey, Rome. Speaking of fascinating women, Rome 13 is in the chat, y'all. Say hi. So, yes, his skill in repairing a motor. 6. His body structure. 7. His S word response. 8. His stubbornness, common term for determination. 9. His heavy gait. 10. The masculine clothes he wears. Tell him that you admire manly clothes. 11. His deep-pitched voice. 12. His heavy jaw or large shoulders. 13. His masculine hands, their size, their strength. 14. His dependability in his work, other manly responsibilities. How to develop admiration. If you have not already admired your husband adequately, you will be interested in the following suggestions. 1. Set out to discover him. There may be many things about him which for years you have overlooked. He will undoubtedly have some manly qualities worthy of your admiration. He will have intellectual gifts, physical brawn, or masculine skill. Hello to, did I already say hi to Kismo? But hello again, Kismo. And Nisio is here. Hello, Nisio. Good to see you. 2, become interested in him. If you will spend less time thinking about your affairs and your problems, and more in thinking about him, you will find many qualities which before went unnoticed. Women tend to become self-centered. Our lives are wrapped up in our children and our household chores. But it is such self-centeredness and lack of interest that causes a man to turn to a more appreciative woman. 3, listen to him talk. This is a wonderful way to discover him. Few women know much about their husband's activities away from home, and they are therefore not aware of their men's accomplishments and special abilities. The only opportunity they have to know about them, as a rule, is to listen to them talk. If a man has a good listener, he will enjoy telling of his life away from home. Take every opportunity to listen to him. Often he talks for the sole purpose of gaining your admiration. Imagine how disappointing it is to be turned away empty by your lack of interest. Oh, but it is important that you learn how to listen to a man. How to listen to a man. Follow this rule and you can learn to be a good listener. Do not listen only to what he is saying, but to the man who is saying it. Notice how absorbed he is in the subject, how he has mastered the intricate details, how he glories in his skill and knowledge, how he has worked out and developed his own ideas, how loyal and devoted he is to them, what mental and moral power he can wield, what a genuine man he is when you stop and appreciate him. If you can't comprehend all of what he is saying, look for the traits of his character which you can admire. Ask questions. His conversation will reveal them. In fact, if you only follow his subject and appreciate that and not the man who is thus expressing himself, he will be disappointed. You may rest assured that he is not talking only to have his subject appreciated. He wants admiration to be bestowed upon himself as a man and not as a mere talking machine. A woman need not be well educated to follow a clever man's discourse. In his pleasure at having himself admired, the man seldom notices that his conversation is not understood. Oh, that's funny. Even when he does notice it, he relishes it, as in the following words: What care I though she appear not to understand? Do you think it is for a sublime word I thirst, when I feel that a soul is gazing into my soul? And that is from Maeterlinck. I'm unfamiliar with Mater or Maeterlinck, but that's who said that, I guess, or that's what that's from. It's funny when women creep on their husbands and they don't know what's going on. What do you mean creep on their husbands? I don't understand. Yo, yo, yo. Okay, if you learn to listen to a man correctly, it doesn't matter if the subject is interesting or dull. You may converse on world affairs, the atom bomb, or the intricate details of his business career, and you will be able to maintain an interest. In fact, you can safely guess that if he deliberately talks over your head, he is doing so only to arouse your admiration. Oh, really? Is that true? Is that why they do that? Trying to sound all smart. So that girls will like be like, "Oh, you're smart. You're so smart. Oh my gosh. I wish I could understand. I'm so dumb and you're just so manly and smart. And I'm so pitiful." Okay, guys, sorry. It's funny. Okay. The following story will illustrate the correct way to listen, the right way to listen. Jim is a man who craves admiration, for out in the world he gets little of it. He is a terrific success in business circles, is highly intellectual, and has ingenious political ideas. But who cares or bothers to find out about them? In fact, some have implied that only luck is responsible for his success. But at home it is a different story. His wife knows little about politics, but she does admire Jim. No sooner do they have a few minutes together than she steers the conversation into the channel of politics. She prods him from time to time until he is thoroughly wound up in his hobby, and then she listens. If you will observe her carefully, you will find that she listens only casually to what he says, but that she nevertheless finds a great deal to admire. What on earth is it? Not his appearance, because he is just an average looking man. Not his language, for hers is just as good as his. And not his ideas, for they are of little interest to her. She sees loyalty and courage and idealism. Here is a man whose heart rings true to his ideals, to what he believes fair and square. Whether she agrees with him or not doesn't matter. So she sits there and admires not his words, not his ideas, but his manliness, his fervent enthusiasm, which might irritate others who do not agree with him, is regarded by her as another expression of the glorious and steadfast champion that he is. Matthew says we do like them dumb. I don't know. Is that my problem? Rome. Rome. Rome's like his manliness eyes. Okay, me trying to pop this popcorn. Yeah. I think Steven called into one of the shows and was like, you don't want to marry a dumb woman because then you'll have dumb children. So I don't know. But if she's too smart for her own good, that might be a problem, right? So I get it, you know. Women can be like really caught up in their intellectual ego and it's really off putting. Well, because it's kind of masculine, isn't it? Okay. His fervent enthusiasm, which might irritate others who do not agree with him, is regarded by her as another expression of the glorious and steadfast champion that he is. And the woman's going to have to says. That's true, Stacy. People are usually pretty dumb. We're a lot dumber than we think, all of us. Okay, where was I? So long as she can watch with the rapt admiration of his excuse me, let me reread this. So long as she can watch the rapt animation of his countenance and the unfolding of his admirable character, she asks nothing else. Even his moods of depression arouse admiration in her. Isn't he depressed only because of what he considers the futility of many of his ideas? What if you fail to find any manly qualities in him? In extreme cases, a man may deteriorate to the point that he really is not much of a man. On the surface, what can you do if you cannot find anything to admire? 1. Have faith that these qualities exist in him even though they may not be showing. These qualities do exist in dormant form within his soul as they do in the souls of all men. Having faith in their existence and believing that there is the possibility of his becoming a real man is only another way of giving him an ideal to live up to or using the power of positive thinking. Okay, excuse me, guys. My delivery is here, I suppose. I'll be right back.
have searched me and known me. You know my sitting down and my rising up. You understand my thought afar off. You comprehend my path and my lying down, and are acquainted with all my ways, for there is not a word on my tongue, but behold, oh Lord, you know it altogether. You have edged me behind and before, and laid your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is high, I cannot attain it. Where can I go from your spirit? Or where can I flee from your presence? If I ascend into the heaven, you are there. If I make my bed in hell, behold, you are there. If I take the wings of the morning and dwell in the uttermost parts of the sea, even there your hand shall lead me, and your right hand shall hold me. If I say surely the darkness shall fall on me, even the night shall be light about me. Indeed, the darkness shall not hide from you, but the night shines as the day. The darkness and the light are both alike to you. Oh Lord, you have searched me and known me. You know my sitting down and my rising up. You understand my thought afar off. You comprehend my path and my lying down, and are acquainted with all my ways, for there is not a word on my tongue, but behold, oh Lord, you know it altogether. You have hedged me behind and before, and laid your hand upon me. Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is high, I cannot attain it. For you formed my inward parts. You covered me in my mother's womb. I will praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works, and that my soul knows very well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in secret and skillfully in the lowest parts of the earth. Your eyes saw my substance being yet unformed, and in your book they were all written. The days fashioned for me, when as yet there were none of them. How precious also are your thoughts to me, O God. How great is the sum of them. If I should count them, they would be more in number than the sand. When I awake, I am still with you.
Wasn't that nice? I got some food brought to me, so been scarfing it down while the song plays. I still got quite a bit left though. Lots of, I don't know, mac and cheese with like short rib. I apologize. I didn't intend to be eating like this on stream, guys. Fascinating womanhood, huh? Stuffing my face. Goodles mac and cheese. I don't know. My neighbor made this. It tastes like it has gorgonzola in it. It is a bit of a mukbang here. My little bowl of food. Shout out to Chris in the chat. Mateus is here. Bob White has showed up. So yummy. I know, I'm like enjoying it. Eating with a plastic fork is not so good though. That bites for Nero. Yeah, for real. I mean, it's kind of nice though that he brought me a plastic fork so I don't have to like dirty any of my dishes. It's all good. Whoa. You tried the hot dog and peanut butter thing? Play Flyleaf? I'm not playing Flyleaf. Who are you, Bob? What do you mean there won't be food in heaven? Aren't we going to be eating from the tree of life in heaven? I have not eaten a peanut butter hot dog, but Chris is saying it's good too. I don't really eat hot dogs. Although I've been thinking about making some lately because there's these brioche buns at the store. I'm like, oh, that might be kind of good. And maybe make it with peanut butter. I don't really keep peanut butter in the house though. Banana with PB on white bread. My dad used to eat mayo and peanut butter sandwiches. Freaked me out. I can't believe you're saying that, Matthew. Oh, man. I know Jesse eats them, but to me it just seems like some weird prison food. Rome has never had a peanut butter glizzy. Wow. Hey, Santino. Santino's calling us strangers. He got the memo that we are strangers here at the Strange Channel. Okay, well, I guess if you put, banana on your peanut butter and mayo sandwich, then yeah, maybe that's different or something. I don't know, man. Seems wrong. What's the Yuka app? Is that a mother? Oh, effing orange Fanta. I'm not drinking an orange Fanta. PB and manners. I've been using Kewpie mayo. I got some at the Asian supermarket. That's been my thing lately. It's super good. I like that it's easy. It comes out of the bottle really easy. I'll probably use it tomorrow. I got some focaccia bread and some mortadella at the store today, so I'm planning on making a mortadella sandwich for lunch tomorrow. Y'all, I'm not gonna eat Miracle Whip. Okay, no way. I'm not into Miracle Whip. I don't have a waffle maker, no. Sometimes I make, pancakes, but it would be nice to make waffles. Just roll them up. Shout out to Chris not eating poison this week. Good for you. All right, I'm almost done eating this, guys. Can I make crepes? Probably. I've never really attempted to make crepes. I think I made them once in French class in high school. I just haven't really gone about doing it, but I could make it, I'm sure, if I wanted to. I'm kind of more into French toast, honestly. If I'm going to make something at breakfast time like that, it's either going to be pancakes or French toast. An egg salad with Miracle Whip. Oh, that sounds really depressing, man. Okay, guys. I love making French toast. I get that like nice brioche bread, soak it extra long in that egg, mixture, fry it up. It's all soft and eggy and like, oh, it's just so good with the like fresh maple syrup. And I've got some really nice maple syrup. I've got some that has like little vanilla beans in it. Oh, and then have some like eggs and sausages on the side. It's like heavenly. I love breakfast food. I've never had a souffle pancake either. All right. Bye, Bob. I think Bob's going to leave. I'll set that here for now. Out of my way. Thanks for bearing with me while I had something to eat, guys. You like French toast, Chris? Right on. Depressing food is gas station food. Yeah. Maple syrup with gold particles. Indeed. Probably Gizmo. Shout out to Bob in the chat. Back to the sus talk. Yeah, pretty much. I don't know. As a Christian woman, should I be reading this? Okay. All right. Having faith in their existence and believing that there is the possibility of his becoming a real man is only another way of giving him an ideal to live up to, or using the power of positive thinking. Goethe, the German author, said, "If you treat a man as he is, he will stay as he is. But if you treat him as if he were what he ought to be and could be, he will become a bigger and better man." Interesting. Mormons are into it. I think they marry really early on and like they're encouraged to have as many kids as possible. So I don't know that they're more into it than other people. I just think that they're like, into breeding. I don't know if they're into the S word or just into like breeding. I don't think they're more into it than other people. I don't know though. I mean, maybe I could find a Mormon and interview them about it. You know any Mormon YouTubers out there, guys? Indeed, Jamie. Ideally, they do. But we live in a backwards culture. So they don't tend to, it seems, anymore. It's amazing. People are having all the S word, but not all the kids. It's like, what's going on? How do we get this backwards? Jamie apparently knows some Mormons. Okay. The woman who has an unwavering faith in a man's better side, although it may not be showing, inspires a man to live up to such a conception of his ability. She offers him hope that perhaps he hasn't appreciated himself at his true value, that courage, steadfastness, and nobility really are the underlying traits of his true character. Many a girl has helped transform a man from an apparently stupid, weak, lazy, cowardly, unrighteousness. See, there's like typos in this book that really irritate me. She means unrighteous man into a determined, energetic, true, and noble one. Often a man is at heart a stout-hearted creature and only needs someone to suggest to him that his life does not do justice to his true character. Once persuaded that he is noble at heart and that you perceive it, he becomes anxious to show both to himself and you that there is no mistake about the matter. The turning point of many a man's life comes from just such a revelation of his higher capabilities. Did she say a meek man is bad? I didn't hear that at all, no. No, she said weak. Weak, not meek. Weak and not meek. A weak man is bad. A meek man is strong. Hi, He Black. He apparently is doing 335 squats. Dang. Stacy ordering chicken tenders on the Gaza Strip. Oh my. One day, guys, we'll be in Gaza ordering our chicken tenders on the Strip. He Black showing off just because he can squat. Tell Gregatron to live up to his blackness. Gregatron's blowing up. Didn't you see his latest video? He's going to be somebody. He's going to be modeling his like incredible form. If I get to a 400-pound bench before him, I'm posting and going to his house. Okay, right on. He Black and Gregatron are like, yeah, I guess in a race here. Cool. Okay, where was I? In this way, and only in this way, does a woman bring out the best in her man. By her unwavering belief in his better side. It is the only encouragement he needs. A woman should not encourage her man by pushing, but by her belief in his better side. Two, go back into the past. If you cannot find anything manly to appreciate in the present, you can dwell on past observations. Be specific and bring up instances which aroused your admiration. Even though it is in the past, it will stir his heart. One of my students said that she found it necessary to think back to the days of the Depression. She remembered those trying years when steady employment was difficult to find. And she could recall how her husband walked the shoe leather from the soles of his shoes in his persistent effort to provide for his family. It was only through his diligence and determination that his family continued to enjoy the comforts of life. Stop messing with your man. What do you mean, Gizmo? Jeez, Matthew. Stacy and Matthew, with their back and forths in my chat are like amazing. It's like one of my favorite things to watch. Okay. Since that time, their marriage had deteriorated and he had become a difficult man to live with. But when she expressed her admiration, even though it was in the distant past, her husband melted, and she could detect at that moment a change took place within his soul, and he began to develop a new attitude towards her. Since then, the marriage has blossomed once again. How nice. How to express admiration. One of my students said that after hearing my instructions about admiration, she said to her husband, "My, you're a manly sort of man." And he asked, "How? In just what way do you mean?" She couldn't think of any particular occasions and was very embarrassed. 1. Be specific. It is better if you don't talk in generalities. Think of specific instances when his masculinity is or was noticeable. If you can't think of any, try to word it so he cannot pin you down to specifics. Say, for example, I am glad I married a strong, dominant man. Or you take such good care of me. Or you provide for me so well. The way to say it: speak with warmth and tenderness and with admiration radiating from your eyes. Well, he black. I mean, do you not want your woman to admire you? I don't think it's all manipulation. I mean, and so what if it is? If it works, if it works and it keeps your marriage healthy and happy and harmonious, then so be it. She said you could be so much better. Oh, that's not very nice. They do this when they want your baby. Exactly, Matthew. Exactly. Hi, Gregatron. We were just talking about you. All good things, of course. Okay. You must accept him. I must warn you that the most important step to understanding man and winning his heart is accepting him at face value. Your admiration of him will fail to be effective if you still hold in your heart critical attitudes, attempt to take away his freedom, or try to change him. If you admire him in some ways but are critical of him in others, if you do not accept him at face value, it will be like serving him a piece of moldy pie and trying to disguise it by putting whipped cream on top. Your admiration will be detected as insincere and will be ineffective. Dang. Summary. I have told you that the cry of a man's soul is for admiration of his masculine abilities and achievements. I have also told you that you can develop the art of admiration by setting out to discover him, becoming interested in all that he, having an issue here, all that he does, and by listening to him talk. I have also told you to be specific in expressing yourself as often as possible, and to speak with warmth and tenderness. And finally, I have said that you must have an underlying attitude of acceptance. Oh, he black. Goodness. What's up, Yoda? Good to see you. We need some levity here. Most men don't need motivation. I don't think it's about motivation so much. It's about instilling an understanding in a man that you admire him. You know, men want to be admired by the women in their lives. They want to know that their woman admires them and that he looks up to them. He doesn't need it, but it will like improve your relationship if she is admiring him. Do you not think so? Of course, he doesn't need it to do anything, but I mean, it is, I don't know. It's a good thing, I think. I think this advice is quite helpful. How many women make men feel like they're not admired? Like, I don't know. Like they're not looked up to. If he's not looked up to, like it's gonna, have an effect. Especially like if you're married and have kids and, you're all busy all the time. Like it seems like a good and proper thing to remember. So, okay. All right, rewards. It may seem that you are doing a great amount of giving, and what are you to receive from all of this? The rewards for your efforts will be tremendous, and I can promise you that you will gain a strange but righteous power over your man. All right, ladies, we're going to figure out how to get power over the men. I need the guys to leave the chat. Although his love might have been asleep for some time, it will awaken, and he will shower you with loving endearment. And if he has already been loving you, he will do so with even more sincerity, with almost reverence. One woman told me that her husband began kissing her feet when she began treating him like a man. Her feet? Oh my goodness. Many women experience within a few weeks a more fulfilling S-word life, a greater S-word response within the man as well as in the woman. Okay, nice. Okay. So apparently admiring him is good for that. That's how these Mormons have all these kids. Another benefit is that it will make acceptance fairly easy once you begin searching for his traits of character and concentrate on the better side of him. The faults you might formerly have dwelt on become insignificant. You begin to appreciate him more and love him more. But perhaps the most noticeable result is that it so definitely defines the difference between man and woman. When you become aware of your husband's masculinity, you become aware of the many differences between the sexes. You become aware of your womanliness, which is a thrilling sensation. This makes you feel like a woman and causes him to treat you with respect due to the feminine sex. If you treat him like a man, he will treat you like a woman. Dang. Dang. Based. No lies detected. Yoda, no. Dang. What kind of modeling is our brother Gregatron getting into? Hello, South to West. Shout out to you. Is there anyone in the chat I missed? Speak up and let me know if you haven't heard your name shouted out. Okay. These are only the basic rewards that will come to you. Other things he may shower on you may come to you as a surprise, as in some of the success stories which follow. Shout out to the Prepared Adventist. Good to see you. What does based mean? Based means based in truth. It means true, basically. It means it's short for based in truth. He's modeling. I know. He's got a lot to model, I suppose, Yoda. It was only a matter of time before Gregatron got discovered. I mean, we couldn't keep him all to ourselves, you know. Yeah, usually it just means you agree with it. Okay. Success story. One of the most dramatic cases of my experience was a young couple who were on the brink of divorce due to the husband's insistence. Oh, wow, that's tough. They had many problems, and he had some major faults. He had never bought his wife anything, although he had money in savings for himself for a trip to Japan. He resented his baby and said, "She stands in the way of my success." He withheld marital love grudgingly. He was losing his faith in God, and he didn't want any more children. Oh my! Why did he get married? Why do people get married if they don't want to have kids? Why do people get married if they don't want to have a family? Like, what are they doing? Why did you get a wife if you didn't want to have a family? Oh my goodness. That's true. Yeah, you're probably right, Keysman. But I'm sorry, what does it lead to? It leads to babies. So, like, not thinking clearly. But his wife didn't want a divorce and came to my classes of instruction. After hearing the lesson on manliness, she decided to try admiring him. He is a handsome man, 6'4", ooh, with an especially well-built body. But all she said to him was, I have always admired your manly strength, your beautiful muscles. She said that something took place within his soul. She couldn't explain it exactly, but it was a peculiar look on his face. He didn't say anything in response, but was very quiet. And if I remember correctly, I think she started singing quietly. Within a few days, he took the money he had saved for Japan and bought her household furniture. I should hope so. Yeah, I can see that too, Mateus. I understand it's better to not burn in lust, you know. Um, but I just feel like, you know, it's interesting. It's just interesting to me when people get married and make, you know, kids, and they're just like, you know, resentful towards the children or whatever. Or they don't want to have any more, or they're just like, you know, it's, yes, Jamie, I know. So you have said. Jamie is a very tall man, apparently. My dad was 6'4", actually, at his peak. Oh, yeah, it is a blessing. I mean, imagine all the fruit you can get up there, all the plums you can reach that other people can't. Okay. Within a few weeks, although marital love had been withheld, he now offered it willingly. He has returned to his religion and is joyfully anticipating the birth of a new baby. I like plums, guys. What can I say? I know this story sounds too dramatic to be true, but it is nevertheless true and happened just as I told it. Of course, this girl continued to look for traits to admire in him, but she believes that his awakening was when she first complimented his muscular strength. This should not be termed a success story, but it does illustrate the power of admiration. A young man whom I know cannot seem to find his niche in life. He really wants to be a policeman, but he cannot, for he always fails the eye test. No one has been able to rid him of this burning desire. In talking to his wife, the truth came to light. When they were dating, she expressed glowing admiration for policemen and was occasionally almost gushing. She would say to him, "Oh, look, don't they look handsome in their uniforms? And they look so brave and so strong. And I'll bet they're not afraid of anything." Is it any wonder that he would like to copy them and have such admiration bestowed upon himself? I know, I just was thinking about Joelle, for sure. Well, that's what I'm here to do, Mateus. I'm here to make you ponder. Yeah, I was definitely thinking about Joelle. I'm glad Joelle's not a policeman, though. I mean, imagine if he was out fighting crime instead of podcasting. A woman whose husband had been treating her with indifference admired her husband's honesty by saying, "You're as honest as Abe Lincoln." A previous antagonism left immediately, and within a few days he could not remember having felt anything but kindly. And he said to her tenderly, "The best part of all of this is that it gets better as you get older." Ooh. Another woman told me that in all her married years, her husband had never treated her decent until she began admiring his masculinity. Another said that all she did was admire the way her husband was building a motor car for his son and he helped her with the dishes for the first time in 25 years. I don't know, J-Do. I mean, a man's strength is pretty apparent. I mean, how do you not notice it as a woman? It's so obvious when you're like in close quarters with one. They're just so much stronger. Oh, goodness. Okay. It may be difficult for some to break the ice, but do take the initiative to say something. The following suggestions may help. Assignment. Assignment. Tell him. 1. I appreciate the fact that you work and slave to provide necessities and comforts for your little ones. 2. If he is fixing the car, it must be terribly complicated to repair something as intricate as the interior of a motor car. 3. If he is painting the fence, you paint with little effort. I'm afraid it would be very tiring to me. 4. I am happy that you are a man who has the courage of his convictions, whatever they might be. 5. I admire the manly courage you have in solving your difficult problems. 6. When he is dreaming, I am happy that I married a man with some rainbows, some masculine aspirations. 7. To have a man to rule over me makes me feel like a woman. In addition, you must listen to his conversation and admire the man that you see there also. Remember, you cannot become Angela human and arouse a man's celestial love if you do not make him feel like a man. I'm wondering if I should continue or if I should stop here. I don't know if I have another 14 pages in me tonight. Maybe I should stop. Yes, celestial love. The celestial love that you will need to get into the celestial kingdom. Okay. The Prepared Adventist wants me to keep going. I don't know. Should I press 1 in the chat if you want me to keep going a while? Maybe I won't finish the chapter. I know you are, Jamie, a mechanic and a painter. And you build things. Okay, we have 1. Okay, we have a 1. Read some more, says Matthew. He does not press 1 though, but that's okay. We'll count it anyway. Oh. Stacy, she's a 2. Okay. Matthew says Stacy better be paying attention. Dang. Okay. Well, chapter 5. Oh, dang, Prepared Adventist. Jamie is a great dude, a bit on the attractive, tall side. Oh, my. Yes, he has many virtues. All right, chapter 5, a man's pride. And of what is a man proud? He is proud of his manly qualities, of which I spoke in the previous chapter. He likes to show them off, to call your attention to them in both conversation and actions. Like every male creature, from the peacock and the rooster to the bull and the lion, he likes to strut before the female of his species and show what manly powers are his. He likes to enjoy the admiration which these traits arouse. But it is here man is most vulnerable, for his pride is extremely sensitive. He cannot bear to have his masculinity belittled, ridiculed, or treated with indifference. Let us Let us review again these masculine traits. Physically, it is his strength, his body structure, and his S-worddual abilities. Oh my. This book must be for married women. I don't know. Or women about to marry. Would you guys give this to your daughter on her, like, the eve of her wedding? Tell him his mullet is manly. 2, spiritually, it is his courage, honor, determination, aspirations, and ideals. Mentally, it is his cleverness, intellectual gifts, achievements, leadership, and skills. When a man is belittled, it is humiliation he suffers. It can be a sharp-bladed cutting sensation or a crushing feeling. Whatever the forms of humiliation, it is a painful experience. I would give it to my son's fiance, but you wouldn't give it to your daughter? Serious effects of injured pride. If it were only the cutting and crushing sensations of humiliation which man suffers, he could probably bear it. But there are more detrimental effects which we must understand. Reserve. 1. Reserve. When a man is belittled, frequently he tends to build a tight wall of reserve around himself, an impenetrable barrier against those who have offended him. When this occurs, he appears distant. He may talk, but does so cautiously. You cannot tell his innermost feelings, for he does not expose them. He will not confide, although you may sense his longing to do so. He is reserved in his actions. He tells little of his accomplishments, problems, or dreams. Through all of this, you can detect an unhappy feeling in him. Occasionally, a man will clam up and not talk at all. This is called going into his shell. It is as though he has climbed inside himself, locked the door, and pulled down the blinds. It is difficult and seemingly impossible to get next to him. This tendency for a man to build a wall of reserve is common. What is the matter with him? It is most important that you understand what he suffers. First, he is proud. He would love to strut around as the bull and lion and have you admire his dreams, hopes, achievements, and skills, all of the admirable traits which he has locked inside himself, but he cannot. He dare not. Why? Because he is afraid of further contempt or indifference. He will not expose his precious ideas to you because of this fear. He longs to confide, to pour out his heart to you, but fear blocks his way. The fear of further humiliation. These two conflicting feelings seem to be fighting inside him, the desire to be admired versus the fear of humiliation. And this conflict is what makes him so miserable. There should be no barrier of reserve between husband and wife in the ideal marriage, which is the theme of this philosophy. A man should always be able to express himself in words or actions without fear. When banned, you should take steps to break it down. If you do not eliminate it, he may be driven into another in whom he can confide. In the chat saying, never tell a woman your problems because they're not real anyway. She's going to use them on you. I mean, yes. Or it does make it hard to admire a man, right? Prepared Adventist says, what you're reading is exactly spot on. A woman who learns this has won. Indeed. How to break down the wall of reserve. You cannot attempt to pull him out of his shell. You must break his wall of reserve down indirectly, secretly, by the following procedure. 1. You must accept him. If you continue your criticism or dissatisfaction of him, he will not feel like exposing his innermost feelings to your unappreciative attitude. 2. Admire his masculinity. Your admiration will do more to break down his reserve than any effort you can make. 3. Cease belittling him. You will have to eliminate any remarks which crush his male ego. 4. Don't be critical of others. If you are a backbiting, fault-finding woman, he will never trust his precious feelings to you. 5. Hold confidences sacred. You must prove that you will not repeat to others the things he confides to you. Even though you admire him, how does he know others will? They might ridicule the things which you admire. He doesn't want their contempt or indifference either. Remember, nothing but the absolute certainty that he will not be met with further ridicule or indifference will induce him to lay down his armor of reserve. It is important that you know how to treat a man when he is withdrawn. You cannot pull him out directly, as I have stated, nor should you make him feel ashamed of his peculiar behavior by saying, "Why are you so quiet?" Or, "I can't see why you don't ever tell me anything." Nor can you pry into him and try to see if you can tell what the matter is. The only acceptable way to treat him is to be tender and reassuring. If you will pat his cheek and tell him how proud you are of him, he might melt on the spot. This is the only thing you can do at the moment and the only comfort he needs. I have said that reserve is one serious effect of man's injured pride. But as long as a man has a reserve, at least it is a healthy sign of his sensitivity. The following result of injured pride is far more serious. I have noticed this with men getting their pride wounded. They do tend to become reserved. I have noticed that. I'm thinking particularly of like my father. I noticed times when his pride was wounded growing up, and I'm remembering like how he always went into his shell at those times. I think it's very common in men. No, I don't want to hear a man's issues or problems, of course, Matthew, but like I also wouldn't want my husband to keep things from me that, maybe, I don't know, wait. No, I don't think venting is good either. But when a man is like in this state of reservation, I mean, like, it is difficult for the people around him. It is difficult to interact with someone who is in that state where they're being shut off and not, I don't know. I mean, when a man has, gone into his shell that way and his pride is like wounded, yeah, it's difficult, like, to interact with that person. Okay, so let's continue. 6, the numbing effect. When a man's pride is injured, over a long period of time, he learns to protect himself from the hurt by hardening himself against it. He learns not to care. His senses become dulled or numb. In Dr. Adrita Fried's book, The Ego in Love and Sexuality, she speaks of this numbing effect. But Dr. Fried points out the great danger in this. When we become numb to pain, we become numb to pleasure as well. We pay dearly for the self-induced numbness, for while it relieves our pain, it also reduces our ability to experience pleasant emotions and respond to pleasant stimulation. I know, Jamie, me too. I don't know, do I? I mean, what is it? I don't know. Maybe not. Unresponsiveness, like an indiscriminate scythe, mows down the flowers with the weeds. The man who has become numb to the constant pain of humiliation has also separated himself from pleasure. Oh my. He no longer experiences the hurt, but neither does he see the beauty of a summer day, delight in the playfulness of his children, or respond to the sexual love that his wife offers. His S-wordule life will be undoubtedly suffer. Oh no. I didn't know this book would be so frank about that topic, but I guess it's, it is what it is. And how does woman help him relieve the numbness and return to sensuality? By following the same steps for breaking down his reserve, but in this case, it takes a much longer time. In the working world, woman isn't the only contributor to a man's humiliation. In the working world, his pride is often brutally cut down. His ability may be questioned. In some companies, backbiting is common. Some sadistic employers may undermine an employee. Then there is the struggle for position in which some men sometimes discredit one another. Often it is a creditor or customer who offers cutting remarks. Some workers are derided by their superiors, but it is the sum total of his hurt that is injurious. If he comes home to a wife who will heal his wounds, he can usually withstand permanent damage. But if he comes home to further humiliation, his entire personality suffers. Dang. Mistakes women make. Often women's belittling takes the form of humor, but men are usually too proud to let them know how much it hurts. Women therefore keep up their jibes in innocence. In moments of anger, women wield their deepest blow, and often they are too emotionally upset to hold any restraint. But it is by indifference that woman wounds man most frequently. By only a yawn or an expression of the face or a glance out of the window does she show this indifferent attitude. Her refusal to give him full attention, to set aside her household chores when he is exposing some masculine thought, will cut his pride. Other mistakes are veiled in mystery. How often does she make some innocent statement only to have him wince, as if struck by a lash, and doesn't she respond by saying, "Now what did I say that was wrong?" It is important that you understand man fully if you are to avoid crushing his pride. To help you, I have given the following experiences. Okay, interesting. Are we ready? An example of ridicule. A man told his wife of his idea for an invention to turn the pages of piano music. She said laughingly, "Oh no, did you know that Major Hoople recently invented one just like that?" Then told the incident to friends, and each time succeeded in getting a laugh. Oh dear. Why do women do that? I can't stand that. I cannot stand when women humiliate their husbands in public, or vice versa, when men do that to their wives. That is like, you're not supposed to do that. But people do that like it's nothing. And to me, it's like such an indication of disrespect and disorder. You know what I mean? And it's one thing if you're it's just, she said something, that put him down or made fun of him privately, but then to go and spread it about, ugh. Well, there's no reason why you wouldn't be able to do that, He Black. I believe in you. I'm not even your woman, and I believe you're going to make that happen. What was wrong with her? Yeah, she wasn't the one, He Black. She was not the one. You got this. Chat is here for you. Okay, let us continue. Okay. Her husband also thought of a revolutionary design for the common branding iron, but due to his wife's ridicule, he failed to carry it out. Several years later, the same idea was developed by someone else and proved successful. Even this failed to stop her, and she carried on her humorous ridicule through the years. It isn't difficult to imagine the crushing effect it had on her husband's pride. A man presented an idea to his wife for a business investment. She said, "Well, if you want to lose all your money, go ahead." Another woman used the cold water method. Her husband had a novel idea for sports equipment. She was more cautious and said, "Let's be sensible about this." Ooh. Belittled. Many years ago, I knew a girl who was engaged to marry a man of outstanding ability. He appeared to love her dearly, but broke the engagement and married someone else. Oh, ouch. For years, it seemed a mystery to those who knew the couple, but later I learned the truth. She lost him because she belittled him. She laughed at his big ideas, made fun of his actions on the basketball court, and joked about his performance in plays. Ooh, okay, it makes sense. Such a constant eroding of his pride was more than he could stand. This man has become extremely successful. And then they invented waterboarding. Oh my goodness. What? Belittled. Woman gave me the following account. My husband taught a Sunday school class, and he did it very well. One day I suggested that he ask our son to give part of the lesson in the form of visual aids. My husband turned to me and said, with an aggravated tone, "What's the matter? Don't you like the way I do it?" I answered, "Well, you could do better." He became extremely angry, told me that I had never appreciated him, but constantly belittled his efforts. He rushed out of the house, slammed the door, and didn't come back for several hours. Okay, maybe he was having his period. Okay. Oh man, sorry. I hope he's not listening. Indifference. I watched a woman stirring gravy on the stove. When her husband arrived home, he came into the kitchen and told her of an incident which happened while he was at work. His boss had commended him on his achievements, which he told her with enthusiasm. She said, "Well, isn't that wonderful? Jimmy, go out and turn off the water." Once again, he tried to win her interest, but she said, "Go tell the girls to wash for dinner." The man was completely deflated. A man who was a well-known singer, okay, this is on indifference, excuse me. A man who was a well-known singer won acclaim from everyone except his wife. He said to a friend, "I would rather have her proud of me than anyone in the audience, but she never makes a comment." Veiled in mystery, belittled. Often it is difficult for a woman to detect her mistake. For illustration, a man was very despondent, so his wife tried to cheer him with loving kindness. Then he unfolded his problem, which was the possible failure in his business. She said, "Don't worry, honey. If you fail in your business, it won't matter. I will be content if you merely run a small grocery store." Oh my. You would think such a self-sacrificing attitude would be met with appreciation, but it was not. To her surprise, he snapped back harshly. "Sometimes you say just the wrong things." Why was his response unappreciative and harsh? She pictured him as a failure. This was no consolation to him. He couldn't bear to have her think of him in this light. Even the word "merely" was a mistake. Ooh. What should she have said? She should have restored his faith in himself. She should have talked success, not failure. Her unwavering belief in his ability to pull out of his problem was what he needed. Hey, Maina, good to see you. Well, I would never say that to a man, Jamie. Exactly, Jado. Sneaking some popcorn now. Hmm. A woman must think of her man as a success, even though he isn't one at the moment. Anything less is a blow to his ego. Yeah, they're loving it. You're loving it too. Don't act like you're not one of them. You're on the edge of your seat, Jamie. Would you live in a cardboard box with your man? Oh Lord. Okay. Veiled in mystery, indifference. Often when we try the hardest, we make the most serious mistakes. A drama, a drama teacher of a college began the production of a play. He seldom asked his wife to help, but on this occasion he did ask her to help with the costumes. She worked long hours on them and they were beautiful, but she noticed a growing antagonism on his part. One evening he said to her, "You are not interested in me." She was both surprised and hurt. She couldn't understand such a lack of appreciation. Her failure was in her consuming interest in the costumes rather than her husband. Here was her man, her hero in action, hoping that she would notice his talent as a director, organizer, and a teacher. He wanted her to notice him as a terrifically successful man. She, however, felt that he really needed her assistance, that the success of the play partly rested on her shoulders. She didn't realize that the secret reason he had asked her to help was to win her admiration. Certainly, he wanted her to help with the costumes, but he wanted her to admire him at the same time. Oh my goodness. Remember that the cry of a man's soul is for admiration. When you show indifference towards this precious need, his love for you will lessen. You cannot earn his celestial love if you show contempt, ridicule, or indifference toward his masculine ability. And you cannot become Angela human if you wound his soul. Oh my. Rewards. When you break down a man's reserve, you will have every opportunity to understand him and admire him. There will be a closeness that cannot otherwise exist. You will find yourself one step nearer to his celestial love. If your husband is reserved, take the necessary step to break down his wall. When you notice that he is particularly withdrawn, be tender and assure him of your love and admiration for him. Pat his cheek and be soft and affectionate. Nice. Okay, so we got through chapters 4 and 5. Not bad. Oh my goodness. Yoda. Yoda. Oh my goodness. I can't believe I read that. What the heck? I gotta find another song to play to you guys before I get out of here. Let me think. Man, yeah. I gotta find something. What am I gonna show you guys? This. I don't know why it opened up that way. I didn't ask it to. Oh man, it's interesting. I'm seeing if I can find something, yeah, kind of, I guess to go, that one's pretty fun. I don't know if I should play that one though. It's kind of, oh dear, okay. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, that's a good one. All right. I think I may have found it. A song to see you all out. Thank you for being here, guys. Thanks for, absorbing this message and giving your responses. It is nice to have other feedback. Men shouldn't even care what women think about them. Your wife, though? But you do. Like, you shouldn't care, but you do. You can play my video for the shout outs like 10 minutes in. No, I'm not playing Gregatron's video. Guys, go watch Gregatron's video. I already got my song picked out. I got my little song picked out, guys. Stop it. My little outro song for you guys. Go to his channel and watch the video. Maybe we could do it next time. I got my plan. What am I supposed to do with you guys? I mean, really. Y'all ready for this? Why didn't it do what I said? Put me in the corner. Okay, shh, 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 shh.
Is the gift to be simple, is the gift to be free, is the gift to come down where we ought to be, and when we are in the place just right, we'll be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend, we will not be ashamed. To turn, will be our delight, till by turning, we come round right. 'Tis the gift to be simple, 'tis the gift to be free, 'tis the gift to come down where we ought to be, and when we are in the place just right, we'll be in the valley of love and delight.
All right, wasn't that cool, guys? I hope you all have a good night, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks, and take care. Bye. I know, yeah. I thought I had my thing turned off. That was my next favorite list on my favorites, guys. I was going through my old favorites list. Okay, sorry. Bye.